Hello all, welcome to today's class. Hey, this is Sushma D, your tutor, working as Assistant Professor of English at GFGC, Shira. Today, we shall be discussing a masterpiece by Toru Dutt, an Indian poetess, entitled Lakshman. Before we start analyzing the poem, let us know about the poetess and the poem. So, in today's session, I'll be giving you an introduction connected to the poetess and about the poem. She is Toru Dutt, a great Indian English poet. Note on the poetess. Lakshman is written by Toru Dutt. Her period is 1856 to 1877. She is a Bengali poet known for her poetry both in English and French. She was born on March 4, 1856 in Rambagan, Kolkata, as the youngest child of Rambagan Dutt family. Her family converted to Christianity and was baptized in 1862. Toru was only 6 years old at that time, and this was a major event in her life. Though she remained a devout Christian all her life, the Hindu system of belief never lost its sheen with her, and its influence can be seen in most of her works. After being met with social rejection and isolation as a result of their conversion to Christianity, Toru Dutt's family moved to Mumbai for a year. Her family then moved to France in 1869 following the death of her brother Abu. In France, she was educated in language, history, and arts. Sometimes later, the family moved to Britain, where Toru pursued her education at the University of Cambridge along with her higher French studies. Toru started publishing her works when she was only 18 years old. Her first published works, Essays on Henry Derozio and Leconte de Lisle, appeared in Bengal magazine in the year 1874. She was the first Indian woman poet to write in English and is often referred as the Keats of Indo-English literature. She was deeply interested and inspired by Hindu mythology and its legends, characters, gods, and goddesses, and this finds ample reflection in her works. She wrote both in French and English. Some of the major themes of her poetry are death, alienation, woman, and ethnicity. She left behind an impressive legacy of poetry and prose when she died at the age of 21 in the year 1877. She seems to me a kind of cultural icon, someone who helped us to understand the modernity of India at a point when India was suddenly emerging as a modern nation state. Because the nation at that point was going through an extraordinary journey. That journey where the Indian thinkers begin to imbibe British or Western knowledge, what we call the Bengal Renaissance. Because much of the action took place in Calcutta at that time. There is a saying that what happens in Calcutta today will happen to the rest of Bengal tomorrow, and what happens in Bengal today will happen in the rest of India. So this is about the poetess who lived a very short span of life, just like Keats, but yet had achieved an amazing recognition in the literary arena. Moving on about the poem. So Lakshman is a part of collection Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan published in the year 1822. It is in the ballad form with 8 lines. So the form of the poem is ballad. Ballad means it is a poem or a song narrating a story in short stanzas. The poem comprises of 22 stanzas. In Lakshman, Toru describes an episode from Ramayana and deals with two of its main characters, namely Sita and Lakshman. So these are the two mythological characters Toru deals in this particular poem. Toru Dutt eloquently portrays the inner struggle that Lakshman undergoes when faced with the choice of whether to obey his brother's command or his sister-in-law's wishes. On the whole, Lakshman is the portrait of an ideal brother, a splendid picture of chivalry and self-control. In the poem, Sita comes across not just as a mythological character, as the wife of Rama, but as a human being, a woman to be particular, prone to human emotions and human provocations. Again, as a woman, Sita comes across not as a meek and submissive character, but as an authoritative and dominant person, one who is aware of her rights, the one who is capable of battling for her rights and getting her demand accomplished. So we are going to see Sita not as a submissive character, rather as an assertive and strong woman, whereas Lakshman's character is portrayed contradictory to the character of Sita in this particular poem. The theme is derived from Ramayana. You all know the story of Ramayana. To put it as simple as possible, the story of Ramayana. The Ramayana is an ancient Sanskrit epic which follows Prince Rama's quest to rescue his beloved wife Sita from the clutches of Ravana with the help of an army of monkeys. Rama, Prince of Ayodhya, wins the hand of the beautiful Princess Sita, but is exiled with her and his brother Lakshmana for 14 years through the plotting of his stepmother Kaikeyi. In the forest, when they stay in Panchavati, Sita is deeply moved by the golden deer roaming around, and she beseeches Rama to get it for her. Rama tries to convince her, but she does not yield herself to the words of Rama. Thus Rama goes in pursuit of the golden deer in spite of the forewarnings expressed by Lakshman. He guesses that the golden deer is Maricha in disguise sent by Ravana. After a long pursuit, Rama fells the deer with an arrow. While dying, the deer cries out in Rama's voice for help, screaming, "Hey Sita, hey Lakshmana." Hearing the cry, Sita mistakes it for Rama's voice. This is where the poem begins. The poem comprises of 22 stanzas, and we can divide this poem into 4 parts. The first 3 stanzas, that is, first stanza, second stanza, and third stanza. So these 3 first stanzas of the poem depict the worries of Sita and her pleas to rescue Rama, who was calling for help. She beseeches before Lakshman to rescue Rama, and she blindly believes that the voice is from Rama. That has been described in the first 3 stanzas of the poem, and that is the first part of the poem. In the next 5 stanzas, that is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th stanzas, in these 5 stanzas, the poetess depicts Lakshman's disapproval of Sita's doubts of her husband's might. So this is the second part where Lakshman tries to convince Sita pertaining to the might of her husband. He talks in a very soothing and convincing way with Sita to convince her that the voice is not of her husband. Moving on, in the next 6 stanzas, that is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th stanzas. So in all these 6 stanzas, Sita employs the weapons like taunts and scorns, mockery and sarcasm at random to mobilize Lakshman into action. And this is the third part. So here in these 6 stanzas, Sita tries to mobilize Lakshman into action by scolding him, by using scorns, mockery, sarcasm randomly, and provokes him to move to rescue Rama. And this is the third part. And the last 8 stanzas of the poem, that is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22. So in all these 8 stanzas, Lakshman finally decides to leave Sita alone and he goes to rescue Rama. So this is the concluding part of the poem, and this is the 4th part of the poem where Lakshman, who is bereaved by Sita, decides to leave Sita all alone and go to rescue Rama. So this is the 4th part of the poem. So I hope that with this brief introduction regarding the poem, you could easily analyze the poem to the fullest core. Thank you all.